Hello world, what's up Zion? It's Prince Easy coming at you again as usual. Well, I do have a couple slides here with me in this here device that I want to share with you pertaining to what is currently unfolding, right? So let's get to them. So yeah, I hope you handle it unapologetically, right? Just like your water and your power. After I don't know how many years, she's having a realization that, hold up, are we actually enabling this? You know? Yes, of course. Just like the Masons, the Egyptians made the same mistake, you know? Back then, the high rollers of society, right, or the high class of society, were the scholars, right? So what did they do? They made the grave mistake, right, of making knowledge a secret, right? Making knowledge a secret, and they made it even harder for people to actually acquire this said knowledge by making them go through initiations and whatnot, right? So it's all a thing, right? It's all a thing, and it's all about power, right? Knowledge was power back then, right? But right now it's a whole different game. So power, of course, for them has to shift, right, and adapt to what people consider to be, or rather what we regard to be as power, right? So these experts, what do they say, right? They're saying that there's interference. Who are these diplomats who say this? I think they should come out, right, and make, because we are talking about people's lives here. We have to be serious, right? So in this video here, Jaguar Wright spells it out for everybody, but still people will not catch on, right? She said most people in the entertainment industry are actually related by blood, right? He made an example, him, not him, but her, Erykah Badu, and Snoop Dogg being related, right? It's the same thing with the political elite out there, right? This is how it goes, and this is the real world that people have to wake up to, right? You can call yourself a fighter if you don't even know who you are fighting. You're just shadow boxing at this point, you know. I know what is at the core of this issue here, but we'll see, right? We'll see. We'll see. I was thinking more in the line of, why don't you bring your industries here? You're selling your cars to us anyway. Right? Why don't you move the manufacturing and the technology here? I'm just thinking out loud. Yeah, to those who it may concern. I don't know what you want to do with this, but here you go. Now, I have been hearing, you know, as Africans, we don't have those depth in history about countries, right? So apparently, there's a big beef right, so to speak, between China and Japan, right? And I'm using this caption here not for the context of it, but rather the comment section, right? The comment section is mostly what I assume, right? What I assume. They can be bots, right? They can be bots, right? I speculate most of them are bots, okay? If you look at the comments, and most of the comments were basically showing anger towards Japan. Those are the Chinese, right? The Chinese showing anger towards Japan and what they did to them during their colonial rule, right? They were upset about that whole ordeal. Before I forget, a tangent. I've heard Japan has developed a reputation of not actually being protective of their women and whatnot. What's going on out there? Right? Okay, let's go back to this whole ordeal. To say it's ridiculous is a stretch, but both of you at this point, you're not in the same predicament as in which Africa finds itself when dealing with America and Europe, you know. It is quite a different conversations because there is a economic and basically the power dynamics, right? But as of now, China nor Japan have nothing to fear from each other. So then what is up? I think just like in North Korea and South Korea, there are elements in these countries which work for outside interests, right? Because as far as I know, right, I was looking at the last car show from China, and it was full of European cars, literally full of European cars, and right, even Japanese cars were there, right? So I'm boggled and bamboozled. I am boggled and bamboozled by the decisions they make, because every decision they make, it seems that they compromise themselves. And if I go deeper and speculate, they compromise themselves for the sake of some other country far, far away. That's what it is. And this is what I call occupation, right? It's an occupation, right? There is no reason North Korea and South Korea should not be even at least having conversations about how they can solve their whole situation, right? Because their only way out, to be honest, is war. One has to be defeated and subdued, then there will be true unity, right? But if the political elites are butting heads like idiots, then they're gonna burn. I'm just saying, right? I know why. This is a psychological operation here, right? After we caught Argentina lurking, trying to invite the people from the synagogue of Satan into their country, right? So what is this going to entail? It can be a multifaceted operation. I have many assumptions in mind to why they might have pulled this off. Right, but again, Argentina is friendly. What do you see? Can I get back to this? You've been knowing, right? It's actually futile at this point to even pretend like you're not helping these people. Hence why these experts from Europe are saying Russia is interfering. Sooner or later it's gonna be China's interfering. Right? So Kenyan parliament under fire. A lot was happening in Kenya. So again, right, I was watching this last interview with a Western correspondent, if that's what it is, talking with Lavrov. And Lavrov put it plainly and said and challenged the said media operative and told them, right, if you have proof that Russia has been targeting mostly, like this quotation here from Sky News, right, mostly civilian targets, please go on the ground and point out, said, damage to civilian infrastructure, right? Just do it, please. You have cameras, right? You don't need a chunky camera. You can use your iPhone and shoot the whole thing, right? The same thing I would say to the supposed Israelis, right? If you deny that there is no starvation campaign going on in Gaza, please, you can arrange a single day where you allow journalists to go in there and to confirm, right? To confirm what is going on, right? And before I forget, the other thing, right? There's this issue of flag burning that has been going on at the beginning of this week, at the last of and basically the end of last week, right? Very potentious. These two countries, right? One big horn, one small horn, right? I'm not for that, right? I might disagree, but I'm not all for that. This is the real stuff. So this here is a quite interesting situation. Not interesting as in good or anything like that, but what surrounds this whole case is quite something. It's quite something, right? What do you see? We have a upside down cross over here and some convenient, but from what I heard, Ukrainian taglines, right? Where is your God? For the children and a lot of, as you know, stuff about Trump over there. This is the statements. Right? My guy took his time, I guess. Shall not dwell much on it because I'm quite sure we'll cycle back to this I'ma let the dust settle, right? They say, let the fog of war settle. You'll find out. Yeah, like I said, a lot of things are happening in Kenya. Again, I emphasize, a lot is happening in Kenya. Mhm. Of course, they are running covert operations, right? Checking out the temperature, right? And I don't know the Danish or the Greenlanders. Well, I think one of them niggas have been listening over here, right? Niggas have the specific talking points, right? These operatives then come into our country and been looking to sow discourse and all of this. I hope you niggas be listening. This is not that time. Right? Hmm? How about we push for UN boost to 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 solve the situation in Gaza? How about that? Right? This is the hypocrisy of these people, and like they don't see their own. So one particular character, Trump, is coming out here and say children are dying. Right? He shows concern for the Ukrainians and the Russians and how they are dying, and this has to stop and all of this. But you hear nothing, zilch. You don't hear the same energy being shared, or so to speak, being maintained when it comes to talking about the Palestinians. No, you don't. You don't hear such big statements. All you hear from them is they raise up their hands to veto, right? The whole Security Council situation is broken, right? It is broken. It is broken. It's not really democratic, so to speak, is it? If many of you can say no and one person say yes, then the answer is yes, then that's stupid, right? That's stupid. That's my opinion. Okay, that whole thing is stupid, right? Hence, I've not even been here talking about pushing, for, I don't know, African to get a security seat card. No, that whole thing is a joke. And like they did that time when we were dealing with this whole ordeal, and I knew the outcome. But again, I can tell people what the outcome is. You have to show them. And what did they say? Oh, we are going to give you a seat, but you're not going to have a voting power. Like, so what is the seat for? To just be in the meeting or something? And these people now are going to come out here and, the last thing I heard, like the French talking about, oh, we want to allow, we are ready to allow our flights to resume going to the Sahel region, but the Sahelians are not allowing us. Like, these people are deluded, man, and that makes them really, really dangerous. Hmm? They are deluded, like seriously, they are deluded. These statements about concern for human life, this is just pretense. It's just pretense, right? It's just pretense, but it's not it's not real. They're just pretending to care, but when it matters, they don't really care. So they are, I don't know, have a selective caring syndrome or something. I know for a fact they're just evil. That's what it is. Evil. They do not see the world as normal people do. Right? As normal people do, but not even rich spiritually people see it. So, yeah, we're going to continue seeing what we are seeing. Why? Because, again, most people are going along with this nonsense of theirs. That's the problem. I don't know, it might be self-preservation or just plain corruption, but that's what it is. Hmm? But anyway, let the monkeys throw feces and feet. Let them do what they're gonna do to distract and just basically get involved in other people's business, for that matter, in a non-constructive manner, if I may add. Let me put a pin on it right there. Prince Easy signing out. Love you. Bye.